The 76ers finally made the decision that everyone has been waiting for. Today, we will react to that. Also, Tyrese Maxey, per usual, back in the gym, cooking. We'll take a look at what he's working on this offseason. We also have a Quentin Grimes contract update yet again. And last but not least, a Sixers rival signs one of their biggest targets. We'll talk about all of it and more right here on Philly Take with RB. But welcome into the show. I'm RB. Do me a favor, hit that notification bell and make sure to leave a like at the end if you enjoy this content. It is the dead point, middle of the offseason. There's not much going on, and I know what you're thinking. RB, why are you talking about some of this stuff? I see it all the time. Why are you talking about this offseason workout? Because we can. When you're at your job in the middle of the slow season, do you stop showing up to work? No, because you'll get fired. And I'm here to talk about everything related to this team and more. So anyway, shout out to the diehard sickos who are still in the comments. But we started off with a diehard sicko, Allen Iverson, who is one of the most successful players in franchise history. And we look at that jersey. I have that jersey here in the closet. We used to wear it on some of the streams. Shout out to the AI jersey. The real ones know. But ladies and gentlemen, it's finally back. We've been waiting years for this. When are they going to bring back the black jerseys? When are they going to bring back the 2000 alternates? Well, here we go. With the 25th anniversary, it has been announced, not directly from the Sixers, but through sources close to them, that this will finally be the year where they bring back the black jerseys. Now, is it the right time? I don't know. A lot of the fans are pissed off at the team right now and things going on. But I don't care. I'm excited to have these jerseys back. Imagine a Joel Embiid or a Tyrese Maxey black alternate jersey. Those things are going to be sick. And who knows how they're going to design the court on those City Edition days. I can't wait for it. Let me know what you think about the return of the black jersey. Is this the best jersey in franchise history? Let me know your thoughts. Speaking of Tyrese Maxey, though, he is back in the gym. And he is cooking with Drew Hanlon, the trainer that we've talked to a little bit before on Twitter. But, you know, he trains a lot of these NBA guys. And last week we talked about Tyrese Maxey. He had replied to someone regarding his height. And here's another angle. I know it's kind of like from the floor level looking up. But I'm telling you, man, Maxey does look like he may have gained an inch or two. So could we get 6'5" Maxey this year? Maybe. But the good thing is that no matter where it is, what time it is, you can count on this guy being in the gym. That is called setting the example. And here is another picture from today. Tyrese Maxey was working with Zach LaVine. You have Kelly Oubre, a couple others as well. A pure sweat workout. Shout out to my dude Harrison Grimm for posting these. I mean, you just can't get this guy Tyrese Maxey out of the gym. He is glued to it. And good to see Kelly Oubre there as well. But here is what Tyrese Maxey was working on last week with Chris Johnson, one of his trainers, posts a lot of Instagram footage. Let's take a look at Maxey right here. Working on that little hesitation, switches to the right hand, throws it down. Here's a step back. Tyrese, once again, going baseline. I feel like he's definitely working on his tempo, you know, and kind of regulating those different intervals, those different speeds in which he can play. Early on in his career, we saw a lot of Maxey where he just went straight downhill. He was like getting shot out of a cannon, and it was hard to really slow him down, especially with those touches and those finishes around the rim. But I feel like over the years, he has learned more of how to play the point guard position and also how to speed it up, slow it down, and just really kind of shake his defenders. And obviously last year was rough, but on a normal year, I think this can really go a long way. Last couple years, we saw Tyrese Maxey get a lot smarter with the ball. He's seeing the floor better. He's setting up his teammates, limiting the turnovers. But there's still so much more to add to his game. I mean, he's improved in almost every way possible, and especially on the defensive end as well. But when I look at Tyrese Maxey and I look at the way he plays, and I look at just, you know, his work ethic and all that put together, why can't he be a guy in a couple years, you know, that is a top 3 scorer? You know what? Here's a hot take. Tyrese Maxey is going to be an all-star again this season because hopefully the Sixers will be a little bit more normal. And now that the fans see what the reality is with Joel Embiid and Paul George, Tyrese Maxey can take the reins. We should be excited about Jared McCain, about VJ Edgecombe, Justin Edwards, guys like that. But there's no question that the other max star is Tyrese Maxey. Like, he is the guy who we call the franchise. He needs to be the franchise. And some people seem to think that he can't do it. I believe he can. When you look at Tyrese Maxey's numbers, look at year by year. I mean, even last year in a down year, he only played 52 games. He was dealing with injuries throughout the year. He was dealing with drama. He still put up 26 points a game. He put up 6 assists per game. Yes, his numbers dipped a bit in terms of field goal and three-point percentage, but that is reasonable given the circumstances of the team, given the fact that, you know, second half of the season, they weren't even playing meaningful games. They were essentially telling him to lose, and he was also playing through injury. But overall, when I look at his progression year over year, and yes, he has to clean up some things from last year to this year, but I look at the way he has gotten better incrementally and worked on certain things, and he targets one or two things in the offseason, and he gets better on it. And I think what we're seeing this offseason is, again, just the change of speed, going off 1 foot, just being able to really deceive his defender. I think he can be that guy. And maybe you don't agree with me, and there have been some trade Maxey takes, which I think are just absolutely asinine. When you look at where Paul George is, where Joel Embiid is, anybody that says trade Maxey's out of their mind. Tyrese Maxey is one of the only integral, reliable parts of this core of this organization right now. And he needs to be a Sixer for a very, very long time. They got his contract done. It's going to look like a bargain in a couple years. And I think he's only going to continue getting better. Like, I don't think we've seen the best Tyrese Maxey yet. So we'll see how it goes. Year number 6 coming up for Tyrese Maxey is absolutely insane. But I think his numbers are going to get better, and I think he will be an all-star yet again and take the reins on this team. Now, let's talk about another guard who is kind of in the mix, kind of out of the mix right now. We've been talking about him for the last couple months. That is Quentin Grimes. We've had a ton of updates, but based on the RFA market, right? Cam Thomas, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Kuminga, none of these guys have signed yet. Maybe when one of them signs, then the rest will fall into place. But now Jake Fischer is saying that there is buzz about Quentin Grimes taking the qualifying offer from the Sixers, which again is that 1 year, $8.7 million deal that he had to get, in order to be a restricted free agent. If Quentin Grimes takes this offer, I think it's a huge failure on behalf of his agent. Now, again, I don't think he's worth $25 million a year. But when we think about Grimes and we think about his emergence this past season, sure, a lot of people are going to tie that to the situation that the Sixers were in, right? Playing with a lot of G League guys. And if Grimes ends up taking a 1 year deal, I mean, there's no certainty that one, he'll play the same way with all these other players around him. And number two, that he can stay healthy. So I think it would be a huge risk. I would, kind of like it from the Sixers standpoint. But then again, as I've mentioned before, you have to make sure that Grimes is not pissed off and that he's still locked in with this team. But he still would have that incentive to go out there and play better and get that big contract next year. Overall, I do think there could be a little bit of a logjam with the guards, but Grimes taking a 1 year deal on his behalf would be a bad decision because he would be leaving some money on the table. Now, again, we don't know the specifics right now, but as it says here, whether it's a qualifying offer or a 2 year deal worth $15 million per year, Grimes staying on a shorter deal rather than 3 or more seasons at a higher price point seems to be where we are heading. So we heard Jake Fischer a couple weeks ago say that this is not going to be solved for a little while. Now we're hearing him say that the short-term deal is the more likely option. And as it says here, Grimes loses some long-term financial security, but could bet on himself performing over the next 2 seasons in a solid role. I think based on what we're seeing now with the market, we don't know what the future holds. And to give up some guaranteed money would be very risky. But those are my thoughts. I think the Sixers are doing the right thing, playing the market right now, but you have to be careful on how you toe the line so that you don't completely send him over the edge and piss him off where he doesn't want to play at all. Last but not least, Chris Boucher signs with the Boston Celtics, 1 year, $3.3 million, and a lot of Sixer fans wanted him with that final roster spot at the power forward. The Celtics then traded George Niang to the Utah Jazz. Bring back the minivan? Maybe, maybe not. I am happy that Niang will not be with the Celtics because I could have already seen the game where he pisses us off and he's talking smack and he's doing his thing. It would have been terrible. But anyway, Chris Boucher goes to the Boston Celtics. A little bit surprised at that, but they must have, I don't know, promised him a solid role or a chance to, play good minutes, whatever it is. They still need more help. And at the end of the day, the Sixers will not be getting Chris Boucher. Do they go sign Precious Achiuwa? Do they go sign one of these other forwards? Do they make a trade? What do you think's going to happen? Or is this the roster they will go into the season with? Give me your thoughts down below. And as always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.